Who's ready to try these pineapple upside down ribs? You know they got the right wave to them, and you know they break good. Let's get started. So today I'm not going to use a binder or anything. I know I typically use mustard. You really don't have to. It's completely up to you. You can use a little bit of olive oil or whatever you want. These ribs are semi-wet. I'm going to come back with a good pass down of my garlic jalapeno rub. That jalapeno powder in this kicks this up just a notch. And it's going to give it that additional back end heat that I'm looking for. Now I'm going to kind of pat that in. And kind of flip these over. Do the same thing on this side. Now, once I get a good base layer of that garlic jalapeno coated in there, I'm gonna come back with a little bit of my honey chipotle rub. I love the golden color that it gives, but I also love that little bit of chipotle pop that it gives at the end. Now, I've got this layered down with honey chipotle. I'm gonna let this set here for about 4 to 5 minutes and sweat in before I flip it over. I'll be right back to flip it over, get that honey chipotle on the top side of that rib. We're gonna get it on our Traeger and let it go. Now that we've got these seasoned up, I'm gonna let them set here and sweat for about 5 minutes, let them kind of get wet on top. We've got our Traeger Ironwood XL fired up with our royal oak charcoal pellets running at 275 degrees. In about 5 minutes, we're gonna get these on our Traeger and let them get a good, easy smoke bath. Now that these have been sweated for about 5 minutes here, I'm ready to get them on my Traeger. But just to tell you, if you guys don't have these rubs, you can check out your local Walmart. They've got the honey chipotle in the outdoor section in the back and the grilling section, and your garlic jalapeno is gonna be over on your main spice aisle. You can also be on the lookout. Kroger's on the way national, along with several other chains. You can also get them in Lowe's, and of course, all your mom and pop stores. So let's get these on the Traeger. Now you can see we've got our ribs on our Traeger. I've kind of bunched them up how I want them. I'm gonna get this grill lid closed. I've got it set at 275 degrees, and I'm gonna let it go for 2 hours. All right, we've had our ribs on for about 1 hour and 10 minutes. I'll let my timer get away from me at 1 hour, and you can see where they're at right here. I'm gonna go ahead and spritz them. I just spritzed this one. I hadn't spritzed this one yet, but you can see it's starting to dry out on top already. So we're gonna give it a little bit of wetness. I'm gonna get this grill lid shut and let it go another hour. All right, at a 2 hour mark, I'm gonna make sure my bark's good and stuck before we wrap it up. But it may have to go a little over 2 hours. We'll just make that determination at the 2 hour mark. All right, now that our ribs on our Traeger are ready to be wrapped, I'm gonna go with some pineapple juice today. I've got some little 6-ounce Dole pineapple juices. So I usually go 8 ounces in that, and since these are 6 ounces, and I'm calling these pineapple upside down ribs, right? So every pineapple upside down cake I know has always been cooked sprinkled with a little bit of brown sugar in it. So what I'm gonna do, we've got 2 scoops of butter bath going in here, right? And then we're gonna take a little bit of this brown sugar honey habanero I've got here, and I'm gonna pour about 1 and 2 ounces of the brown sugar honey habanero syrup in with the butter bath and pineapple juice. I'm gonna kind of create like a little flavor fusion, if that makes sense. I've never done this before. It's the first time I'm trying it myself. But I'm trying to create a different, sweeter kind of heat kind of rib with this pineapple rib I'm doing today. And now that we get that all shook up, I'm gonna get my ribs off of my Traeger and get ready to wrap them. All right, we've had our Traeger Ironwood ribs on for about 2 hours and 15 minutes now. Look at these ribs here. That honey chipotle has put a beautiful color. All I did was spritz them once, and look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. Let's get these off of here. I'm gonna get these over to our table, and let's get ready to wrap them up. I can't get over that color, y'all. Look at that. That is gorgeous. All right, now that it's time to wrap our ribs up that come off of our Traeger, before I lay them meat side down here, I'm gonna take my 1/4 cup. I've got a can of crushed pineapple here, okay? I'm gonna lay down 1 scoop of crushed pineapple right there like that. Kind of spread that out. I want that rib to kind of lay in that crushed pineapple. Now, kind of lay that rib down, kind of get any of this funky stuff off of these ribs, that bone marrow that's kind of pushed out of them. Now, once I get that all out, open this up, pour about half of this in there. That tastes like a pineapple upside down cake already. Wow. That is good. Gonna fold these ribs over. Now, lay this back in here. All right, we're going back on our Traeger for about an hour before we check them, or at least an hour anyway. So let's get both of these slabs of ribs over to our Traeger and get them back on. I'm gonna give these ribs 1 hour in the foil, and I'm gonna check them and see where they're at. They should be pretty close. I'm gonna go in the 190 range, and then we might have to let them go another half hour to finish off, and then we'll get those ribs rested, sauced and glazed, and get ready to try. All right, to start off by making a glaze for these pineapple upside down ribs, I'm gonna take another 1/4 cup, that's about all that's in here, of this crushed pineapple, okay? And you can see there's not very much left. I'll go ahead and throw the rest of it in there. Ain't very much at all. And then I'm gonna take, for the cherry aspect, I'm gonna add just a little bit of this cherry apple habanero. And I'm gonna go about 3 tablespoons is it, okay? Now, I'm gonna go a half a cup of our brand new competition style barbecue sauce. And I'm gonna go about a half a cup of our sweet barbecue sauce. Now, I've got some of our brand new pineapple habanero glaze. And I'm gonna shake that up, and I'm gonna use a little bit more of this pineapple habanero in that mix. I'm gonna say that's about 3 to 4 tablespoons as well on that. All right, once we get all that mixed up, you know, that right there is really good. I'm gonna get it on my Traeger and let it heat up and kind of warm up the whole time these ribs are getting tender. Likes about another 30 minutes. I'm gonna get this on, let it warm up, so when we glaze those ribs, be good and sticky. All right, our ribs have been on about 1 hour and 15 minutes wrapped. And remember, they stayed unwrapped for about 2 hours and 20 minutes in the smoke. So running at 275 degrees. Oh yeah. Now I'm gonna get in here and unwrap this rib. Look at how pretty that rib is. I'm gonna tell you, that rib there, you do that push-pull test, it's wanting to come through, but it's not there yet. So I'm gonna wrap this back up and probably give it another 20 minutes or so. Yep, that one's not either. I'm pushing those bones. I'm not even using a thermometer. They're not there yet. They're close, but not there yet. 15, 20 more minutes, those ribs ought to be perfect. We'll be right back. All right, we've been another 15 or 20 minutes here. I'm gonna get in here and check these ribs. Yeah, I say that rib is done there. And I'm pretty sure this other rib, yep, I'm gonna look at this push and pull test here. When I push one and pull one, and it wants to pop through there like what it's doing right here, I know that rib is done right here. Look, I know that rib right there is the same way. You see it starting to bust through that? We don't want to bust all the way through it. Close it up and let it rest. The pineapple smell is incredible on these ribs here. So I'm gonna get this grill lid shut, let our sauce keep heating up. It's been on there about 30 minutes now. I'm gonna let these ribs sit right here and rest for about 15, 20 minutes. We're gonna get ready to glaze them. All right, now it's time to unwrap these pineapple upside down ribs. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Woo! Y'all, these things, the pineapple smell is incredible on these. I mean, incredible. Now we got this good old chunky pineapple sauce here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little bit down just like that. This stuff is hot. I'll kind of get it draped over all those bones. Look, got some of that pineapple stuck on top of that rib there. Oh yeah. Now, let's get them back over to our Traeger, let them tack up for about a good 15, 20 minutes. And we're gonna get ready to tear into these things. Y'all, these are gorgeous. Look at that. I'm gonna get them on this grill here and I'm gonna let them go. Now we do want to come back with a little bit of pop from that honey chipotle. Oh yeah. That's just like putting the icing on the cake right there. All right, it's been about another 20 minutes and you can see those ribs are tacked up now. And let me get them off of here. Now look at those beautiful pineapple upside down ribs. You see the bits of pineapple on them. It's got fantastic color. I know these ribs are gonna be good. All right, our pineapple upside down ribs are off of our Traeger Ironwood XL. And I can tell you guys, that honey chipotle rub mixed with that pineapple layered on there, this smells just like a pineapple upside down cake. That kiss of that cherry habanero rub in there, I can't wait to taste these. This was just a crazy flavor combination recipe that I come up with to try out, and they look great. And so just to recap a little bit about these ribs, we took 2 slabs of Prairie Fresh prime baby back ribs, cut them out of the pack, got the membrane off the back of them, kind of trimmed the fat off of them a little bit and kind of leveled them out here where they would cook even. We then rubbed them down with our classic garlic jalapeno rub, and then we come back with a little honey chipotle rub. We put them on our Traeger, let them go for 1 hour. I spritzed them with water 1 time. They went on about another hour and 20 minutes before we wrapped them up. You know, we wrapped with a little bit of that crushed pineapple in the foil with the butter bath. Then we wrapped them up for close to 1.5 hours. I think it was about 1 hour and 20 minutes. They started getting that bend like we like them. We pulled them off, rested them while we heated up our pineapple barbecue sauce we made with crushed pineapple, a little bit of the cherry apple habanero, and a little bit of the pineapple habanero glaze. We come back and dusted a little more honey chipotle on top when we got everything painted on. So we took a lot of steps on these ribs to layer a lot of flavors on them. So let's see how we done when it comes to cooking them. I would say that rib's got that good old wave to it. I can lay it here and it's got that good bend test. But when it comes to it, whoop, right apart, right just like that. You take them bones like that and just tear right off there like that. That's when you know you've cooked a good rib. There's only one thing left to do, and that's get in here and try it. So let's have a bite. I got a problem on my hands now. After doing this much pineapple taste in there with that spicy, it makes me want to change up my competition rib recipe. This has got a really good sweet heat flavor to it that's really, really good. This is definitely not the last time I'm gonna be cooking these type of ribs. If you like what we're doing on our channel, be sure to like, subscribe, follow along with your friends. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and of course YouTube. I'll see you next week with another video.